There is a strange truth hidden in the quiet corners of life. Some people walk through the world as if they were carved from a different material. Their suffering does not break them. Their loneliness does not corrupt them. Their failures do not stain them. They move with a silent intensity, as if someone or something expects more from them. Not in a supernatural sense, not in a mystical way, but in the way Marcus Aurelius described when he wrote that every difficulty is a call to the virtue within us. And this is what many call a chosen one, a person life keeps shaping, sharpening, challenging, because life needs them stronger than the rest. Here are 4 signs you are one of them. Sign 1, your life is built on trials, not comfort, and you keep rising. Some people grow in sunlight, but we grow in fire. If you look back at your life and see a pattern of challenges, heavier, deeper, and more relentless than what others around you seem to face, you might think life is unfair. But a Stoic would tell you the opposite. They would tell you what Epictetus taught. Difficulties are things that show what men are. A chosen one is someone forged by adversity, not because they were punished, but because they were prepared. Most people collapse the moment life pushes them, but you break, but then you reform, sharper. You fall, but then you rise, clearer. You lose, but then you return, stronger. This is not normal. This is not common. This is the silent mark of a person life refuses to let remain average. Every hardship becomes a summons to discipline. Every betrayal becomes a lesson in emotional clarity. Every loss becomes a reminder that your stability must come from within, not from the fragile hands of others. Stoic researchers often speak of adversity-induced identity formation, the psychological process where certain individuals don't just endure suffering, they transform through it. They do not drown in the storm, they become the storm's interpreter. If life keeps throwing you into darkness, it's because you are one of the few meant to learn how to see in it. And that is why we keep walking. Not because the path is easy, but because the path was made for us. Sign 2. You carry a quiet strength that others sense, even when you stay silent. There is a mysterious aura around people who have mastered themselves. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not attention-seeking, it's felt, not seen. People look at you and become slightly unsure of themselves. Not because you try to intimidate them, but because your calmness exposes their chaos. This is the aura of someone who has learned what Seneca taught. The greatest victory is to conquer oneself. Chosen ones are not chosen because they are perfect. They are chosen because they have the courage to face their own mind, the battlefield most people avoid. You do not run from solitude. You do not panic when quietness surrounds you. You do not beg for validation or cling to attention. You stand in your own presence. That kind of internal stability is rare, and people feel it in ways they cannot explain. Some admire you, some misunderstand you, some grow uncomfortable around you, but all of them sense the same thing. Your strength comes from a deeper place than ego, pride, or impulse. It comes from restraint, from discipline, from the way you keep your emotions on a short leash instead of letting them drag you into self-destruction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "To be powerful is to be in command of yourself." And that is the essence of being chosen. It is not about divine favoritism. It is about the kind of inner gravity that only forms inside someone who refuses to be ruled by fear, anger, envy, or pleasure. You were shaped differently, tested differently, strengthened differently, and because of that, you move through the world with an energy that whispers, "I bow to nothing that tries to own me." That is what separates us from the rest. Sign 3. You feel deeply misunderstood, but you no longer seek to be understood. There is a certain stage in a person's growth where misunderstanding stops feeling like an insult and starts feeling like a confirmation that you no longer think like the crowd, a confirmation that your mind moves at a rhythm most people cannot hear. a confirmation that you are outgrowing the emotional language of those around you. And this is one of the strongest signs you are someone life has been shaping for something higher. A Stoic philosopher once said, "The crowd is the most dangerous guide, not because people are evil, but because most are too distracted, too reactive, and too controlled by impulses to understand someone who has chosen self-mastery over noise." There comes a moment when you stop explaining yourself, a moment when you stop craving approval, a moment when you stop expecting recognition. Not because you feel superior, never because of that, but because you finally realize that the world cannot validate a path it has never walked. You live in a psychological terrain most people never enter, the realm of introspection, self-discipline, long-term thinking, emotional restraint, and silent responsibility. And when you walk this path, others sense something in you they cannot decode. Some will call you aloof, some will label you cold, some will accuse you of arrogance, but none of them actually understand the truth. You are not distant. You are just selective with where you invest your energy. As Epictetus noted, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. And that is why most people will never understand your silence, your discipline, your solitude, your refusal to participate in the games of ego and gossip. A chosen one carries a mind that has outgrown shallow conversations, petty conflicts, and the emotional chaos that most people mistake for living. You don't run from people. You simply refuse to dilute yourself to be accepted by them. This misunderstanding, this quiet division between you and the world, used to hurt. At first, you questioned yourself. You wondered if you were the problem. You wondered why people misjudged your intentions or felt uncomfortable in your presence. But eventually, you reached the stage the Stoics call apatheia. Not indifference toward life, but freedom from the emotional storms caused by others' opinions. You realize that being misunderstood is not a curse. It is a byproduct of having depth in a surface-level world. You realize that people don't dislike your silence. They dislike what your silence reveals about them. You realize that people weren't confused by your confidence. They were confused by the fact that you didn't need theirs. And so, slowly, you stopped explaining. You stopped defending. You stopped trying to soften your edges for those who benefit from you staying dull. You embraced what Seneca wrote, "I don't fit in, and I have no wish to fit in," because chosen ones aren't meant to blend into the background. They are meant to stand apart, not for glory, not for praise, but because their strength is needed in places the average mind fears to go. Misunderstanding becomes your shield. Your separation becomes your clarity, and your silence becomes your language. What the world calls being different, you recognize as being prepared. Prepared to walk alone when necessary. Prepared to hold your composure when others collapse. Prepared to see truth where others only see noise. Prepared to elevate, even if it means ascending without witnesses. This stage, this deep, calm acceptance of being misunderstood, is not the sign of someone lost. It is the sign of someone becoming impossible to manipulate, impossible to control, impossible to break. A chosen one does not fear being unseen. They fear betraying themselves to be seen, and that is why life shapes them differently. Sign 4. You have learned to thrive in silence and solitude. There is a rare breed of people who do not fear being alone. They have discovered something most will never understand. Silence is not emptiness, it is power. And solitude is not punishment, it is preparation. In the world around us, noise dominates. Social validation, opinions, distractions, endless chatter. All of it clamors for attention. Most people chase it blindly, never stopping to question why their mind feels exhausted, why their emotions feel fragile, why their focus constantly falters. The Stoics called this external chaos, and they taught that it has no power over the soul unless you grant it. We have learned the first lesson. We control the inner citadel. not the outside world. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor-philosopher, reminds us in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The people destined for greatness are those who embrace solitude not as punishment, but as nourishment. In silence, they examine themselves with brutal honesty. They confront destructive thoughts. They identify weaknesses. They strip away illusions. They are not content with surface-level living. They dwell in the depth of reality. And in that dwelling, they grow, stronger, wiser, more unshakable. The world will try to pull us from this silence. Friends, family, society, even strangers, they all have a voice demanding attention, approval, or participation. But the advanced mind does not respond to every call. It does not flinch when misunderstood, ignored, or even attacked. Why? Because it has tasted the freedom that comes from being alone, and has realized that most of life's pain comes not from events themselves, but from giving them control over the mind. Solitude teaches resilience. It teaches patience. It teaches the unshakable truth that we are enough without the applause of others. Those who panic in silence are bound to the noise. Those who thrive in it are free, and freedom is the ultimate form of attractiveness, influence, and power. Consider Epictetus, who endured slavery yet remained unbroken. His secret was not escape from suffering, but mastery of his inner state. He thrived in solitude because he treated it as a gym for the soul. Every silent hour, every moment of reflection was an opportunity to grow stronger, clearer, sharper. When you can be alone and content, you no longer fear external events. You no longer need constant approval. You no longer allow emotional turbulence to dictate your actions. You see the world as it is, not as it pretends to be, and you act from truth rather than illusion. This ability to thrive in silence becomes a magnet. People sense a calm authority, an unspoken confidence, a depth that cannot be faked or forced. It is quiet power, the kind that commands respect without demanding it. It is the mark of someone who has been tempered in the fire of self-discipline and has emerged unbreakable. So, when you notice that you crave your own company, that solitude feels nourishing rather than lonely, and that silence brings clarity instead of discomfort, you are seeing the unmistakable sign of someone moving toward extraordinary mastery. You are no longer enslaved by distraction, opinion, or fear. You are walking a path few will follow, but those who do will know the rare taste of true freedom. Remember, noise is the refuge of the weak, but silence is the weapon of the strong. Thrive there, grow there, and let the world struggle while you cultivate the calm power that cannot be taken, only earned. Remember, mastery over yourself is the only power that lasts. If this message spoke to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Join us and step further into the path of self-control, clarity, and inner strength. The world won't wait, and neither should you. Subscribe now and rise above the noise.